Welcome back to Body Positive Exercise. Today is all about cardio. And I know cardio is like a four-letter word. It just doesn't sound great, especially with the body positive movement. But that's probably because your relationship with cardio has been all about burning calories. One of the main goals of cardio for most of our culture and our society is a way to purge calories and burn calories as a means of weight loss. But what is cardiovascular really all about? What is this type of exercise really for? Well, one of the best things that cardiovascular exercise does is it reduces the risk of heart disease. And heart disease is one of the #1 killers of all people, men, women, everybody. It's a very serious illness. Cardiovascular exercise is also great for lowering blood cholesterol. It helps improve osteoporosis, and it just gives you this overall great feeling once you find a way to exercise that feels good for you. So what is cardiovascular exercise? Cardiovascular exercise refers to any kind of movement that elevates your heart rate, and that's it. So this doesn't mean you have to get your heart rate up to your very, very maximal heart rate. It doesn't mean that you have to be drenched in sweat. It does mean that your heart rate does get elevated. So that can be a variety of different ways to move your body. So one thing to really keep in mind is all these benefits that I mentioned, like reducing your risk of heart disease, improving your blood cholesterol. All of these benefits you can have regardless of what happens to your weight. So sometimes when people do cardiovascular exercise, yes, their weight may drop, it may fluctuate, but regardless of what happens to your body size and your weight, you can include these benefits into your health. Another thing to keep in mind is that this should be fun. Moving your body should be enjoyable. So what I like to do for cardiovascular exercise might be different from what you like to do, and that's okay because we're both different people. So this is a chance for you to kind of look into your own personality and to kind of who you are as a person, and that should help determine what would be fun for you to do for cardiovascular exercise. For example, people that are more introverted, that don't like to be as social on a regular basis, walking or running might be something that is enjoyable to you. For people that are more social or that have more of a competitive nature, that might mean that team sports is a great way to get your cardiovascular exercise in. So it's really important that you try out a lot of things and really take into consideration what kind of personality you have. It's also important to consider your lifestyle and your environment. What's realistic in your area? What's the most accessible and the most enjoyable activities you can do? It's also important to consider what's realistic in regards to your responsibilities as far as family and your work. So most people hate cardio because it can be really hard, especially if you go by our cultural standards of what cardiovascular exercise is supposed to look like. We can all kind of drum up the image of some really sweaty person that's puffing and puffing, and this is what we call cardio exercise, right? So we really need to kind of step back and look at, well, what is an effective cardio workout? So in order to really reap the benefits of cardiovascular exercise, like I mentioned, improving your blood cholesterol, lowering your risk of heart disease, it's really important that you try to do cardiovascular exercise 3 to 4 times a week for at least 20 minutes. And some of you might be thinking like, that's way too much, I can never do that. Here's the thing, you don't have to start there. You can gradually work your way up.
Remember, like all things in this program, you're neither good nor bad if you do cardiovascular exercise. There's no room for morality in this program. And if you're in the camp of redefining your relationship with movement and exercise after struggling with exercise addiction, you may wish to hold off or skip this day completely. Know that you can always come back to this day and topic whenever you feel ready.
So how do you know if you're doing an effective cardio workout within those 20 minutes that I mentioned? Well, a good way to know that if you're getting your heart rate up is listening to your breath and seeing how easy or maybe how difficult it can be to talk while you move. I like to call it the talk test. A lot of trainers and a lot of fitness professionals use this as a way to identify where your heart rate is. And I love it because it really gets you away from numbers. It takes you out of having to wear a heart rate monitor or a fitness tracker, which I'm not a big fan of. So using the talk test is great. The talk test is pretty simple. All you have to do is when you're moving is talk to either yourself or someone that you're with, whatever you're doing, or maybe try to sing a song, and just notice how easy or how difficult it can be to actually talk and communicate. If it's pretty easy, that might mean your heart rate isn't getting elevated to the point where you're going to reap the benefits of cardiovascular exercise. If it's really hard and you can't even get out one word, then that might mean you might be doing a little too much. And it's okay if you want to do that much, but you always have the option to pull back. You really want to be able to talk, but not very easily. Like, it might be a little bit difficult to complete a full sentence. This is a wonderful way to know that you're at the optimal level of your heart rate to reap the benefits of cardiovascular exercise. Another important aspect of cardiovascular exercise is that it needs to be done on a consistent basis. And I'm not saying this as a way to guilt you into always doing this, but I'm saying that if you really want to reap the benefits of reducing heart disease and improving your blood cholesterol, it's really important that you find a way to make this a regular practice. So one of the best ways to do this is to find something you actually like to do. And I know I mentioned earlier, really looking at what your personality is like and basing your cardiovascular exercise of choice off of that. So I really encourage you maybe to start trying some new things if cardiovascular exercise has been something that you haven't had too good of a relationship with in the past, to explore a bunch of different options. There's so many ways to do this. Most cities have Groupon, they have Living Social. There's so many ways to kind of explore your different options of ways to move your body. And if you're lucky like me and you live in an area that has amazing outdoor facilities such as here, you have the option to go and move your body outside. So today I'm not really going to show you any type of set workout or exercise routine, but rather encourage you to explore different ways to move your body that's going to elevate your heart rate. Find your unique expression of your life force. Really look into your personality type, what you truly enjoy moving, what you can claim as something that's fun rather than a way to torture your body, rather than a way of punishing yourself, rather than a way of getting rid of calories. Find a way that moves not only your body, but moves your spirit and moves your soul.
A few last tips about practicing your form of cardiovascular exercise. Remember to stay mindful of how you feel in your body. Continue to check in with yourself, always asking, how do I feel right now? Do I need to stop? How is this movement serving my spirit right now? Also remember to find the gratitude for your body as you move, and remember you are already worthy of love and acceptance in the body you exist in right now.